Hello everyone, just me, Jeff Donnelly, JP Donnelly 8. Yeah, so here's a fun one for you. American Eagle. Shit, I remember wearing that brand back when I was in high school, you know. It's always been known as the American preppy style clothing brand for teens to maybe like late 20s or so, who knows. I don't know, I still got a few shirts, you know, from American Eagle, go figure. Haven't worn one in a long time, but you know, I think they're vintage by now, but who knows. Actually, hell, I was just wearing a pair of jeans from them a couple weeks ago. Boot cut, yep. So, what's the problem? You have, Sydney Sweeney, an actress. Wow. She's blonde, blue-eyed, and beautiful. BB and B. She's also, I think she's like late 20s. I think she's like 28 or something, which is kind of surprising seeing that their demographic is a lot on the younger side. But hey, hell, I'm definitely not in my 20s and I still wear the jeans and have a few t-shirts. But anyways, what is the issue? She's talking about jeans. One of the commercials I see, she's in a vintage Mustang, you know, like, the whole fashion industry, the whole woke movement has just gotten out of hand. We had, like, a couple of years back ago, like, they had a woman with Down syndrome as a Victoria's Secret. Like, Victoria's Secret is all about sex selling, and you've got someone with Down syndrome, which, honestly, to me at least, you really shouldn't be pushing someone with Down syndrome as being the next sex symbol. Like, because honestly, if someone's like, you know, like find that as like attractive, finding that as something that they're gonna want to hook up with, I find that as being very creepy and very, if not illegal, immoral, because someone with Down syndrome should not be doing that, but whatever. For a model, hey, congratulations. But anyways, the whole modeling industry nowadays, how the woke culture is becoming, is they're trying to push everything that's not the standard model. The standard model is basically a teenager to early 20s, in shape and attractive. But the clothing brands like Calvin Klein a couple of years ago, or even recently, I think, I'm not even sure. It's been a while since I've looked at their advertisements. But they had a bunch of like, you know, larger women as their models for Calvin Klein. Okay, hey, if a company wants to hire larger women to be their models, so be it. Let them. It's their right. It's their choice. But to go after a company because they've hired a beautiful white woman with blonde blue-eyed, like, why are you going after these people? It makes no sense to go after the company and the model / actress because, like, come on. Wow. Look at any advertisements from the 1980s or 1990s, or even 2000s, and you'll see a standard-looking model. It's only recently that the modeling industry has been completely hijacked by the woke culture. Like, it's just crazy. So what I say is, you know something, just shut up. Plain and simple. Just, if you don't like who's modeling, just don't like who's modeling. But to do TikTok videos saying, oh, I'm not shopping here because it's like, dude, come on, really? You're not shopping there. Why? Because they have a beautiful blonde, blue-eyed, white female in their commercial about jeans, talking about good jeans. You know something? Every race has beautiful people in it. Every race, every culture, every ethnic background has beautiful women in them, and at least from what I've seen, they do. What's wrong with a beautiful white woman? Nothing. What's wrong with a beautiful black woman? Nothing. What's beautiful Hispanic? Nothing. Spanish? Nothing. Italy, nothing. Italian? Nothing. Middle Eastern? Nothing. Asian? Nothing. Like, come on. Modeling used to be modeling. Back in the day, to be a model, you actually had to fit measurements. You had to look a certain way. And I'm not saying white, because you had Tyra Banks, who was not white. You had Halle Berry, not white. You had a handful of other models that were not white. And at the same time, if you say, well, a lot more white models than, black models or Hispanic models. Yes, but at the same time, even nowadays, modeling has kind of gone the way of the dinosaur for a lot of print work and even commercials, because if you look at it, she's not even a model, she's an actress. I don't know. So basically, if you look at this, just realize, hey, the ones that are complaining the most are people who you'll never see in a modeling ad. They're not model material that are sitting there crying and complaining and losing their minds. And why are they losing their mind over it? I'll tell you right now, I'm an artist. I dabble with photography and stuff, okay. But when I was a teenager, I was dating a girl who was signed with a modeling agency in New England. This was before everyone was TikTok famous, Instagram famous, and everything else. This was when everything was print. This was before social media, all right? And her agent actually looked at me one day and asked me what sizes I was. I told him. He's like, okay. He's like, I think I weighed 175 at the time. And he told me, he's like, hey, Jeff, if you lose maybe 10, 20 pounds and get a six-pack ab going on there, never had a six-pack ab. He's like, if you get a six-pack, he's like, I could use you in New York for modeling. I'm like, I'm good. Not gonna happen. Hey, I'm good. Not really want my photo taken. We're all good here, right? But still, I was attractive when I was younger. Lost my looks when I got older, but still, Actually, hell. I'll tell you right now, I lost my looks in college when I went to Westfield State, because I was in a relationship, happy relationship for a couple years, beautiful girl, loved her with all my heart. I was an idiot, broke up with her. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made, breaking up with her for no reason. I was just an idiot. But anyways, I met the girl, 180, 175, right? Next thing you know, all you can eat buffet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Westfield State. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all you can eat. I went from 175 roughly all the way up to maybe 260. Yeah, I definitely lost my looks majorly. Whew, I looked like I ate a person. Just, and didn't realize it at the time, but after I broke up with the girl, I realized that because, the quality women I had been dating and had known, and stuff like that. Well, yeah, those type of girls weren't really interested in me anymore, plain and simple. And why? Because I had become obese. I looked in the mirror, realized it, and was I upset at them for not being interested in me because I was grossly obese, weighing over 260? No. I understood that was their right, their opinion to not be interested in me. The handful of girls that I did get that were extremely attractive, thank you. Because they were definitely out of my league. And I guess my sense of human personality was what won me over. But anyways, the other ones that just saw what they saw with their eyes, it's hey, look, plain and simple, you weren't into me. Okay. I wasn't model material anymore. Right now I'm at 190 or so, but hey, I got old. I'm no longer attractive, plain and simple. It happens. I'm not model material now. Who knows? Maybe for a geriatric commercial, who knows? Maybe the old old school Life Alert commercials I could probably do. I've fallen and I can't get up. Maybe those. But yeah, I don't have that look like that I used to have, plain and simple. But hey, not everyone does. But, just understand, hopefully the commercials and hopefully the ads are coming back how they used to be, where you actually have models and model material as models, in these advertisements. Hopefully Gap, Guess, American Eagle, Hollister, Levi's. Actually, Levi's. I just believe I just seen an ad for them not long ago where they had a beautiful Hispanic woman in their commercials talking about, their looks and the jeans as well. What's the issue with that? Why aren't we bringing that up as an issue where we had a beautiful minority talk about them in their jeans and stuff like that, and with their jeans, and then we have a beautiful white woman, you know, hey, look, let's stop with the double standards, and let's just say, hey, look, ads are going to be ads. Ads are there to, like, sex sells, plain and simple. And you want to know something? If you want to have, you know, like, if you want to, like, you know, push towards the plus size demographics, then do it. Who gives a shit? Hell, let more plus size models get work in the advertising industry, in the marketing industry. I'm all for that too. But just remember something, ads are to sell clothing. No one's sitting there trying to say that, like no one, like, to call them Nazis, it's just wrong, you know? No one is trying to push the Nazi agenda. And if you get down to it, if you remember correctly, yes, the Nazis were, Hitler was, you know, blonde, blue-eyed, the Aryan race. Hitler wasn't blonde and blue-eyed. Hell, Hitler was a vegan, or vegetarian, one of those, vegan or vegetarian. So if you look at it, do you want to go out and call all vegans and vegetarians Nazis because Hitler was a vegan, vegetarian? No. Like, let's just leave the Nazi word to straight up white supremacists. Not Republicans, not people who voted for Trump, but true white supremacists who believe in white supremacy. Like, and personally, I believe everyone's equal. Everyone, God created everyone equal. The United States Constitution believes in everyone's created equal. I believe in everyone being equal. And let's just bury the Nazi word and, like, leave it just for, like, true Nazis, which are, like, such a minute part of the population that no one even, like, they don't exist. They exist, but they really don't exist with how small in numbers they are. Like, let's just cut the shit, all right? Let's just cut the shit and just live and let live. And stop trying to paint everything and push everyone away from each other. Stop the divide and bring people together, all right? Let's just stop getting people to hate each other. There's really no reason to hate each other. Like, wow, a white female actress who's beautiful cannot be in a clothing ad. Like, really? Once again, Jeff Donnelly, JP Donnelly 8. Okay, have a great day.